Good morning. It's time for Two Guys on Sports. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson. Good morning, Larry.
Morning, Dick. And we get right into it. I thought we'd lead off with kind of a milestone in high school wrestling last week.
Dane Luchterhahn from NGO. Dane has been a 4-year starter for the Warriors. And this last weekend, not only did he place first at 175 at the Blue Jay Challenge, that was his 100th career win. And it's quite a milestone. And we talked about it a lot, Larry. 100 wins in wrestling is like 1,000 points in basketball. And congratulations to Dane. And hopefully he's in for a big year. There's a good possibility he has never made. He's been a sectional qualifier a couple of times, but he hasn't quite gotten to state. And hopefully this is his year.
Yeah, they had a few guys that did pretty well.
Very nice, tournament. First of all, they placed 7th out of 26 teams, and there's some good teams there. Wittenberg was first, St. Croix Central 2nd, Marathon 3rd, Wausau West 4th, Merrill 5th, but Hudson Sebesto Opel, of course, he had returned for at Northern Badger Classic, and he is off to a great start, first at 150 pounds. And then Chase Littner, a freshman at 106, is having a really nice start. He finished 6th at 106. Ridge Tibbett also, his first year of varsity competition, a sophomore, 5th at 113. Gavin McFarland, 157. He's kind of settled in there, a senior, 7th place. Jake Luchterhahn, a sophomore, 9th at 165, and then freshman Jackson Meyer at heavyweight, 5th at 285. Very impressive. So
that's a young team.
Very young.
I mean, you go down that lineup there. There's a lot of freshmen and sophomores.
Dane is a senior, Gavin is a senior, and then Damian Sampson, who wrestles 190, is a senior. Other than that, it's pretty much all freshmen and sophomores. So, So there's a lot of good things ahead, and I think you got some nice 8th graders coming in next year too. So
all right. So Neillsville Greenwood Loyal is up at where are they
Spencer
at?
tonight.
Spencer. Okay.
Yeah, and that is a triangular with Spencer, Columbus, Granton, and Thorpe Owen Withee. And then Saturday they will be down at Nakusa for the Nakusa Invitational on Saturday. So.
All right. So the wrestling team.
Keeping
busy?
They're doing good. They a lot of dual. Had 3 dual wins up at Stanley Boyd. We got versus Bloomer Colfax, Stanley Boyd, and Elkmont McDonald last week, and they're 7th out of 26 teams, and they were 20th out of 46. They're a team that's coming together very nicely. Talking to Kenny Fremont, and he's saying these kids are coming together pretty nicely. So.
Yeah, it's another group of kids, I think, that has done a lot of wrestling.
Yeah,
over the
exactly.
years.
I said most of them. Yeah, everybody here has come out of the youth program and stuff, and all the way up through the middle school, and just that's been the big thing the last few classes. They've all had that experience of big tournaments and things like that. So it's going to be fun to watch. So.
All right, that's the NGL wrestling. Neillsville girls. We were over in Assumption on Monday and. That was a battle of top 10 teams.
That was a hard-fought one there.
Yeah.
That was a very good game. Very impressed with Assumption. Their girls are they press end-to-end, and they very good shooters and very well coached by Coach Klein. And Warriors were down early, came back, within 3 at halftime, but then a dry spell in the second half early really spelled their doom, and they still battled back within single figures, but just a couple of girls had off nights that night that you normally wouldn't think so, and that was a little bit the difference there. So
and it was almost like watching Neillsville play somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Assumption was
with that second half, it was 24-21, and then all of a sudden it was 38-23. That's what Neillsville does to other teams in the second half, and they had it done to them there. So.
Yeah, and Paris Opelt had the big hand in that game with 26 points, and then they played on Tuesday night in Spencer, and it was Sydney Subke who did not score a point.
Yeah, Sydney just
had 16 against Spencer.
Struggled mightily down at Assumption. She had a lot of open looks from threes, just couldn't hit it, and got in some foul trouble, ended up fouling out. Just had a rough night all the way around, but then last night she took off right from the start. So it's just another day. So
yeah, and it was Paris Opel on Tuesday who couldn't hit the jumpers.
Struggled, yeah.
But yeah, so that that's a sign of a team that
they pick up each other, pick each other up. So it's one night it's Maddie Dable, one night it's Sydney, one night it's Paris. That's just a sign of a good team there.
And Neillsville won their 62nd in a row in Eastern Chlorbell Conference play. So they finished the first half of the season at 7-0. But how about the game in Loyal with double overtime?
Yeah, I caught
Greenwood and Loyal.
I caught the last part of that because Coach kept his score. So I put her on Zaleski, and very exciting down there. 43-39 and double overtime, and kudos to Loyal getting that win. But a great game by both teams.
Yeah. So it makes the conference standings now at the end of the first half. Columbus Catholic and Greenwood are now tied for second at 5-2, and Loyal and Owen Withee are now 4-3.
Yeah, and Greenwood comes here tomorrow night, to start the second half of the season. If the Warriors can beat them, that puts them at 3 losses, and it's getting pretty close to putting the conference on ice already. So.
And speaking of Greenwood, Gene Delistio had a chance to talk with head coach Trevor Wuethrich of Greenwood, and he talks about their season so far.
Coach, congratulations on the good start to your season. Fill us in on what you've seen so far from your Greenwood girls basketball team.
Yeah, our team, we played them this summer. We did some tournaments, and it really clicked with the starting varsity 5, just in seeing the court and understanding pressures. And when that translated to the season, we still kept it going. And like I said, we try to bring effort to every game, defensively and offensively, and it shows. I mean, our girls are playing hard, and when you play hard, you get some wins here and there.
What are some things you've done well so far this year to lead to this success?
One thing like I said, we try to preach what we control is effort and turnovers, and we've been keeping our turnovers down every game. So in 9 games, we've reduced our turnovers consecutively every 9 games. So, on this pace, we should have 0 turnovers in about 3 or 4 more games. But it's been good. We've been taking care of the ball, and offensively, we're getting to the rim, and that helps out too.
Can you tell us about some of the young ladies you have this year and what they've done for your ball club this season?
Well, really, if you look at our wins, obviously all 5 contribute, but when Tyson Littner and Tatum Travis get the ball in the post, in the middle of the court, then that's when we see success. And a lot of teams know that, so they're probably going to probably double team or drop in on those. But that's when our guards need to be able to recognize that and take over. And we've got some offensive schemes to be able to counter that if that does happen. But it's just, based on execution. Hopefully we can, we can execute and still come out with a win.
Your ball club offensively looks very balanced this year. When you look at your stats, the number that really stands out is Tyson Linder with 14 rebounds per game. Tell us what that does for your ball club.
Absolutely. We can teach kids. This is my 5th year. I can teach a kid to rebound, to box out. But rebounding is a want, and that's one girl, that just wants the ball, and you can't teach that. That's just I think she's 7th in the state in rebounds right now, and it's just that effort, and I'm so happy to have that on my team.
Doing your stats today, Coach, I do notice that you're probably not shooting the ball as well as you would like. How have you overcome that to be successful this year?
Well, we try to get to the free throw line, and our goal is the old Dick Bennett rule, where we hopefully shoot more, make more free throws than the other team shoots, and that's been kind of the mantra for about half of our games this year. So if we can get to the free throw line, we're a relatively good free throw shooting team. We can stay in ball games from that free throw line.
Now, Coach, Greenwood girls basketball has been down for a few years, having a good season this year. It could be your best in 10 or 11 seasons. Tell us about the process that you've undertaken to bring this program back to this kind of success.
Well, it's really started 5 years ago. We started a Great Northwest youth program that was not prevalent in Greenwood. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade girls teams, when I took over this program, played maybe 8 to 10 games a year. And I bumped that up to 20 plus, 20 minimum. So this group of girls is the first group of girls that, all of them played 20 plus youth program games. And then what really I think helped, honestly, is this summer we played about 10 games, tournament games, in Winona and the Dells, and against pretty good competition, and I think the girls just believe in themselves is really what that benefited from. Is we played good competition and won a couple games, and I think they just realize we can win. So I'm really proud of this team for that and the belief in themselves.
That's head coach Trevor Wuethrich talking with Gene Delisio, and one of the things that Trevor was mentioning there is that they're starting to play more games in the off season than they had before.
Yeah, and that's a big thing there, Larry.
That's what it is nowadays.
Getting keeping that ball in your hands 12 months a year, and Nielsville has always had a summer league, and then Coach Geyer has open gyms pretty much all season, all year round, and I think Coach Wuethrich, who I think should be Conference Coach of the Year this year.
He's done a good job.
He's done a great job. I think he's picked up a little bit on that, and and he's found the right mix of girls to do it too. You can want the girls to do it, but the girls gotta want to do it too. So
that's
if they don't want to do it, it's not going to happen.
So the second half of the conference season for the girls in the Clover Belt will begin tomorrow night. And again, Neillsville will host Greenwood at the Fieldhouse, and we'll have it for you on 92.7 WPKG.
And the Warriors are still ranked 10th in Division 4.
Yes, yes. I was going to look at that again. And Division 4 has a few teams up in that top 10. McDonald Central, number 2.
Fall Creek dropped back a little bit after their loss to Fall Creek, but
to McDonald, they went down to 8th from 5th.
Yep.
And Assumption still number 1 in Division 5, but no other teams in our area.
Now that should be a dandy tomorrow night over with Assumption going over to Aquinas.
Yes.
That should be a dandy there. So
Aquinas is now up in Division 3, and they are ranked 8th.
Yeah, and Aquinas took that very seriously because Coach Donarski was there scouting the other night.
He was. Yes, he was.
And he wasn't scouting Neillsville because he has no vest in playing Neillsville.
That'd be a dandy game.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
It should be a lot of full court pressure and a lot of high energy. It'd be fun to watch. So.
Good athletes involved in that game.
So.
All right, on the boys' side, Neillsville will be hosting Colby tonight, and that'll be a battle for second place.
Yeah, big game. The winner is going to have second place all themselves and will stay a game behind Columbus Catholic. And the Warriors, with their win over Independence Monday night, over 500 for the first time this season, and things just seem to be getting better and better every game. Very nice win last week against Owen Withy, a game they controlled most of the way.
Yeah, they're getting some balanced scoring now
very
from
balanced.
team.
Yeah, you're seeing 3 to 4 guys in double figures every night, and that is just great to see.
Yep, and they'll have to keep that going here as they are getting into the end of the first half.
Speaking of Columbus, I heard your sports report yesterday that Emmett Konitsky back.
Yeah,
and isn't that wonderful?
Yeah,
so just wonderful to see.
A little sooner, I think, than they thought.
I think,
from what I heard from Coach Konitsky last week.
But they must have got the right doctor to say yes. So, because and then he came back, and it looks like he didn't miss anything because he had 18 points the other night against Regis. So, but that's just going to make them stronger and stronger. So
yes. Speaking of Columbus Catholic, they are at Greenwood tonight. Loyal is at Owen Withy, and Spencer is at Gilman in the Clover Belt, Eastern Clover Belt tonight in boys basketball. Boys hockey, Black River Falls Co-op got a win Tuesday over Baldwin Woodville, and Neillsville's Zach Magnus had an assist.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see some of those Neillsville guys.
Zach's got 2 or 3 goals on the year and as many assists, so he's doing really good there. So
girls,
and that makes them 9-6 on the season too. And the girls are off till tonight. They play Medford.
Yes, they're in Medford. That's right.
Hosting Medford tonight, and then they're at Winona on Tuesday. So, and they are also 9-6 on the season.
All right.
And Sydney Subke up to 92% saves on the year.
Sydney Magnuson.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I got texted the other night.
Yeah.
And I was saying Santana Subke.
Okay.
So
yeah.
So we get them names.
Yeah.
There's a lot of names we go through during the year.
Watch out for Mama there. Yeah, she'll tell us.
Yes, he will. Oh, I'm sure it'll happen again.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure
not
it'll
going
happen
to be
again.
the first. It's not going to be the last, Larry. So
one other game from the other night on Tuesday night was in boys basketball where Marathon topped Auburndale in a battle for the top spot.
Pretty
in
handily.
South. Yeah,
pretty handily, and that just shows to me Marathon is the real deal. And they, to me, from that side, that sectional there, I think they are the prohibitive favorite to go to Madison this year. And after what we've seen of them in December up there, I can't fault it.
Yeah, they got everything.
Yeah, and young too. You
Right,
know,
yeah.
other than Grant Warren, they are fairly young. They start a couple of sophomores, but they are just outstanding outside shooting team, and that really complements him. And then his shot blocking and rebounding inside is just fantastic.
Yeah,
too.
and he alters a lot of people's shots.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't even have to block
No,
them.
he doesn't. No.
Yeah, that marathon over Auburndale, 60-39 was
Yeah.
the final.
Yeah,
in that one.
I thought that'd be a little closer because
We saw Auburndale.
Yeah, and Auburndale has good size. You know, you would think they match up pretty good, but like I said, Marathon plays a lot faster pace than Auburndale does too, though.
Yeah,
So that makes a difference too, I think. So
Definitely. All right, so that's what's going on in the high school realm of sports. There's a lot of other sports going on.
Oh gosh,
and we're going to get to it, but let's get to where are they now?
Okay, Larry, I am going over to Marshall Senior High and talk about Darian Malter, and she is a 2014 graduate of Marshfield High School. Darian was a 4-year letter winner on the Tiger volleyball team. Her freshman year, the Tigers were 25-16, losing in the regional finals to Merrill. Darian was an honorable mention selection on the Wisconsin Valley All-Conference team that year. Her sophomore year, the Tigers were 32-10, losing in the sectional semifinals to Eau Claire North 3-2. Darian was once again an honorable mention selection on the All-Conference team. Her junior year, the Tigers were 24-8, losing in the sectional finals to Merrill 3-1. Darian was a second-team selection on the Valley All-Conference team. Her senior year, the Tigers were 23-8. They were Valley Conference champions, losing in the regional finals to Merrill. Dorian was a first-team All-Conference selection that year. In the winter, Darian was a 3-year letterman winner on the Tiger girls basketball team. Her sophomore year, the Tigers were 20-6, losing in the sectional finals to Oshkosh West 46-43. Darian averaged 7 points per game on that year. Her junior year, the Tigers were 14-9, losing in the regionals to DC Everest. Darian averaged 12.6 points per game and was a second-team selection on the Wisconsin Valley All-Conference team. Her senior year, the Tigers were 16-8, losing in the regional finals to Superior. Darian averaged 6 points per game that year. In the spring, Darian was a 4-year letter winner on the Tiger girls soccer team. Her freshman year, the Tigers were 13-8, losing in the sectionals to DC Everest. Darian led the team in scoring that year with 24 goals and 5 assists for 49 points and was a first-team All-Conference choice in the Wisconsin Valley Conference and was also named Conference Player of the Year. Her sophomore year, the Tigers were 14-7-2, losing in the sectionals to Eau Claire North. Darian had 34 goals and 12 assists to lead the Tigers in scoring with 80 points. She was first-team All-Conference and Conference Player of the Year and was first-team All-State selection. Her junior year, the Tigers were 11-7-2, losing in the regional finals to Stevens Point. Darian led the team in scoring with 29 goals and 4 assists for 60 points. She was first-team All-Conference and second-team All-State. Her senior year, the Tigers were 10-9-2, losing in the sectionals to Rhinelander. Darian led the team in scoring again with 33 goals and 6 assists for 72 points. She was first-team All-Conference selection and first-team All-State. For her career at Marshfield, Darian ranks first all-time in career goals with 120 and first all-time in career points with 261. After graduation, Darian earned an athletic scholarship to play soccer at Winona State University. Her freshman year, the Warriors were 15-6-2. Darian had 6 goals and 1 assist for 13 points. Her sophomore year, Winona State was 13-6-3. Darian had 8 goals and 2 assists for 20 points. Her junior year, the Warriors were 8-9-1 on the season. Darian had 3 goals and 3 assists on the season for 9 points. And her senior year, Winona State was 9-9-1, and Darian had 4 goals and 3 assists for 11 points that year. Darian graduated from Winona State in 2018 with a bachelor's degree in biology. She then attended Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences and earning a master's degree as a certified physician's assistant. Today, Darian is a certified physician's assistant specializing in family medicine for Gunderson Health Systems in La Crosse. Darian Moulter Adler and her husband Daniel, who is a mathematics instructor at La Crosse Logan High School, reside in the La Crosse area. Darian Moulter, Larry.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
quite a three-sport star for a big school, really.
Yeah, that's tough to do in a big school.
And you start talking player of the year as a freshman in Wisconsin Valley. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah, Division I schools are not easy to get into as a freshman on the start.
No, that's for
start.
sure.
All right, so where do we begin? Let's go to the Monday night game, the national championship. Michigan pretty much dominated that game.
Yeah, I think it was a little closer. That it was 20-13 at the end of three quarters. But their defense just totally stymied Washington. Washington did nothing at passing or running the ball, and just that was the game right there. Is Miami's defense. So. And Michigan's defense, excuse me.
And Michigan's offense had 303 yards rushing.
Absolutely, yeah. Corum had a big night rushing, and as did Donovan Edwards, too. So
the Michigan Wolverines won their first national championship since 1997. Their 10th in their football program's history.
Yep. First since 1997.
Yeah, and they stopped Washington's 21-game winning streak.
Which was the longest in the country.
Yeah. Next year, Georgia is the betting favorite for next year.
Yeah, not surprising. So
they're young.
Yeah, they're young. So.
And I think their quarterback's coming back too. So.
And speaking of Michigan, how long before the Jim Harbaugh rumors to the NFL start? Probably started already.
Oh, I'm sure they've started. Yeah. Which team is he going to go to?
Right. So.
He's probably got all the power in his hands.
Yeah, somebody's going to pay him a lot of money to come if he decides to leave Michigan.
Right. If he decides to leave.
Yep.
That's right.
So that's another thing right there.
That'll be the main thing.
Yep.
Let's see. Well, let's get into the coaching carousel in the NFL. Black Monday. There were a few that lost their jobs.
Yeah, it's just Atlanta with Arthur Smith. Not surprised.
No.
Ron Rivera at Washington. Not surprised.
No.
Mike Vrabel.
I didn't think that was going to happen.
He was 2 years off a division title. That's kind of surprising. But
yeah, I'm not sure what they're going after there.
Yeah, and they might want to start over. They got a young quarterback. Tannehill's definitely not going to be back the way it sounds. Doesn't sound like Derrick Henry is going to be back either.
No, he even said his goodbyes to the crowd.
So that's maybe
they want an offensive coach.
Yeah, maybe they want to start over. So, but we'll see. And then yesterday, Pete Carroll stepping down in Seattle.
Yeah,
and that surprised me.
surprised me. Yeah.
Second. Is either him or Belichick is the oldest and they're second oldest.
They're right around the
we
same
had this
age.
discussion in the car the other night, too.
Yes. Coach K said it was Coach Carroll, I believe, was the oldest.
Yeah, I'll take him for his word. But
he's 72, Coach Carroll is.
Yeah, and I think Bill Belichick is 71, I think.
They're both around that same age.
I said, and then along with openings in San Diego, Carolina, and Las Vegas from earlier, which one's the most attractive, Larry?
Well, it all depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Chargers, you have an established quarterback.
Right.
Carolina, you got a new quarterback.
Yep.
So, that's...
Atlanta, you have no quarterback.
Right.
Washington,
you may have Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Washington, you have no quarterback.
Right.
Tennessee, you do. Carroll, is Geno Smith your man? That's another.
In Seattle,
Yeah, in Seattle. Vegas... Who is it? Is it Aiden McConnell? Or are you going to do something with Jimmy Garoppolo? Or is Jimmy Garoppolo going to be on the move again? So San Diego, of course, with Justin Herbert, to me is the best one right there.
Right, yeah.
But if a good offensive coach can get into Carolina, I think Bryce Young can be worked with, I think.
And Washington, you can maybe start over and draft a quarterback and mold them your way.
Washington's going to be right up there in the draft. So I didn't look at the total draft.
Yeah.
Chicago, of course, is... got the first pick with after that trade with Carolina, but we'll see.
Whether or not they keep it or not, we'll see.
And the rumors are some of the hot candidates out there. Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator of Detroit, seems to be a big one. Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator at Dallas, of course, he was the head coach at Atlanta once. But his name has come out. And that he has ties to Seattle and Pete Carroll too. He was on the defensive staff. He was Pete Carroll's defensive coordinator before he went to Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
So
all right,
that's something to watch there.
Sure. And then of course Jim Harbaugh is a name on the list too.
He's going to be there. And he has ties to San Diego. San Diego State he was a coach at. So we'll see.
Of course, now they're in Los Angeles, but
Yeah, right. yeah.
who knows what's going to happen.
I don't know, and like I said, it's hard to say. You got some different kind of owners here too. You
Right.
got,
Yep.
you got the Davis family at Las Vegas, and Tepper from Carolina. He's a real loon, and the Panos is at San Diego, and then the Home Depot guy in Arthur Blank in Washington, in Atlanta. So,
yeah.
So it's but you have new ownership in Atlanta, so Washington.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun, but it's fun to talk about. But the big story in NFL this week is playoffs.
Packers are in.
Packers.
Who'd have thought that?
Yeah, I said, after that game with Tampa Bay at Lambeau, when Baker Mayfield had a perfect passer rating, I thought they were ready to mail it in. But, wins over Carolina, Minnesota, and the Bears, and some timely losses by other people gets them in. So
the Packers take on the Bears,
Yep.
or the Cowboys, excuse me. They just took on the Bears, but they'll go against the Cowboys in Dallas, where the Cowboys are unbeaten on the season.
Only team in the league undefeated at home this year. So, they need the Packers are going to have to go, and they're going to have to run the ball. They have to keep Dallas's offense off the field, and they also need to neutral with the run. They can also neutralize Micah Parsons and company, because that front seven is pretty scary for the Dallas Cowboys.
But who's got more pressure on them?
Oh, absolutely, Dallas all the way. Oh, Mike McCarthy has got a load on his shoulder, because if the wrong thing happens here, he'll be on that unemployment line too.
So the Packers pretty much are.
I think the Packers are playing with house money, Larry.
Yep.
They're what are they 7.5 point underdogs? So I think they're going in, but I think they're also one of the hottest teams in the league too. So
Offensively, they're putting up some pretty good numbers,
and their defense seems to be getting healthy now, hopefully at the right time.
And they're doing some different things defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's Joe Barry getting a little pressure on him from somewhere.
I don't know. Or else he's getting some help.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. But, you've seen a lot of different things. More blitzing from the inside linebackers than I've seen all season.
Right.
But you're seeing a lot of up-front stuff with Kenny Clark and
some
those
stunting.
guys. And Slayton and Wyatt are all playing very nicely inside. Preston Smith playing well. Gary playing well. So we'll see. Dallas has a very potent offense. CeeDee Lamb is probably one of the best receivers in the NFL. But Alexander, let's see if he's worth his money. So
this will be the 9th postseason meeting between the Packers and Cowboys.
Yeah, they've played a lot.
And the series is tied at 4-4.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Packers have won the last two that they played, I think, because they had the game down in Dallas where Jared Cook made a great catch, and then Crosby kicked the 51 from the field. And then I think it was a year or two before that, it was the Des Bryant game.
Oh, yes.
And I don't think they've played since. But
The phantom
in
catch.
the 90s, it was every year it was Dallas. The Jimmy Johnson teams were the ones that eliminated the Packers.
Seemed like it. Yep.
2 or 3 years
Yeah.
in a row there.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, you're right. The Packers have won the last two playoff games with Dallas. But a little different here now with this team. The Packers going against the Cowboys.
Yeah. So
the Packers are the 7th seed. The Cowboys are the 2 seed.
I was reading an article the other day, and I said, the first time in a long time I've heard Skip Bayless compliment a Packer quarterback because he absolutely hated Aaron Rodgers, but he thinks the Cowboys should be very scared of Jordan Love.
He's falling in love with Love.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jordan Love, he got the Offensive Player of the Week again in the NFC.
I said I looked at his stats for the seaon, Larry. Just 63.1 completion percentage.
And that went way up because he was down in the 50s.
He was terrible in the mid-season, and 4,159 yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 96.1 passing. That's pretty impressive in your first year of starting. So
he was second in the NFL in touchdown passes to Dak Prescott.
Yep. So there'll be a good matchup with them. So and it's the thing that impressed me. These young receivers just keep getting better and better, and it's not the same guy every week. We know about Dobbs, we know about Watson, but Wicks is tremendous, and this Bo Melton seems like he is open all the time too. Reed. Yeah, Reed is a playmaker.
Yeah.
That's a guy, that is their playmaker, right? He is so fast in the field. But then I also like what they're doing. Kraft had a chance to take over the tight end spot with Musgrave out.
Right.
They're going to be a dynamic duel there, too.
Yeah.
Kraft looks like a tremendous receiver. He's got to quit hurdling people in the open field.
He's going to get hurt.
Yeah, I think he's been told that now. He's such
Run him over.
Yeah. So
Run them over. So it is Super Wildcard Weekend. Saturday, Cleveland is at Houston in the first game on NBC at 3:30. What do you think of that game?
Boy, I'll tell you, I wouldn't put nothing against Houston.
No, I wouldn't either.
You know, because C.J. Stroud is playing very well. Cleveland comes in with Joe Flacco, pretty experienced there. But, boy, I'll tell you what, Coach Ryan's down there, and, of course, he comes out of the Shanahan tree. I think he's going to pull the win here, I think.
That's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a good game. I'm going to be interested to watch that one. So.
And then Miami's at Kansas City on Saturday night. They're talking below zero in Kansas City.
That ain't going to bide well for Miami.
No,
you know. But, Kansas City doesn't – well, they do run the ball some, but, Mahomes, he's not exactly a cold-weather quarterback either, but I like Kansas City at home.
And his receivers aren't catching the ball, and they may not do it in the cold weather either.
Yeah, Miami, I just think Miami is a little bit on the downhill spiral right now. And that one's on Peacock. So.
Yep, that's only streaming on Peacock on Saturday night. Sunday, Pittsburgh is at Buffalo at noon on CBS.
Yeah, I think Buffalo is the hottest team in the league right now. They are very scary in the AFC right now. So.
Yeah, without T.J. Watt.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. Yeah,
Pittsburgh's defense.
But who's going to get a good chance in is Nick Herbig.
Yeah.
And he's played pretty well in spots for him this year. So
sure. Green Bay's at Dallas, 3:30 on Fox and 107.5 WCCN The Rock. And probably, maybe the best game of the whole weekend is the Rams at Detroit. Sunday night.
I think we can call this the Trade Bowl, because it was Stafford for Goff, and both guys did really well in their new surroundings. Stafford has won a Super Bowl, and Goff has become a very prolific quarterback in Detroit. So, but there's another team that's very scary is the LA Rams.
Yes,
they are playing very well.
Everybody's healthy.
Yeah, and they've got a good defense and tremendous receivers. And the defensive backfield for the Lions is not that great. So that's going to be a high-scoring game, possibly.
I think it is going to be, Yep. And then Philadelphia and Tampa Bay on Monday night.
I'm going to go with Tampa Bay here. I think Philly has just mailed it in. Maybe I'm wrong, but, boy, I'll tell you, last week against the New York Giants, that was awful.
Then they lost to Arizona not that long before that.
At home.
Yeah.
At home, too. So I don't know what's going on there.
No, I don't either.
They had a great defense last year. All of a sudden this year, they can't stop anybody. So.
And they were 10-1 at one time.
Yeah,
now they're 11-6.
I had them pegged for at least the NFC Championship game and probably a Super Bowl matchup with Kansas City, but no more.
No. So the playoffs for the NFL coming up this weekend. And how about 1 and 2 in men's college basketball going down on Tuesday night? Purdue and Houston.
Purdue going to Nebraska and losing big, 88-72.
Yeah, it wasn't just a close game.
Yeah, and then Houston losing to Iowa State. That was a little closer game, but boy, I tell you, it was at the 8th time in history that number 1 and number 2 went down the same night. So, but that's the NCAA these days. Yeah. Number 1 is just not it's like the NFL, not for long.
Yeah, there hasn't been. I don't think there's been a number 1 that's lasted all year.
Oh, not for years and
long
years.
time.
And again, undefeated teams don't happen anymore. Teams are playing much tougher schedules because they've found out that's what's attractive to the NCAA committee, and they're trying to get those big signature wins. But the days of Indiana being undefeated, and I think UNLV back in the Tarkanian years, those days are gone.
Yep.
No ifs, ands, what's, or buts.
Well, the big news coming here late yesterday: Nick Saban retiring at Alabama.
I am shocked. I
wonder what the reasoning was behind that. There was no inkling of that.
No inkling of that. Not even a good rumor.
No,
because they had a great season, made the playoffs. Got beat by Michigan, but just had a great season. But you never know. I guess it gets to be a grind. And
he's 72.
Yeah, exactly. So. And college football. They always talk about the grind in the NFL. College football is a big thing with the recruiting and everything else. It's a lot of work.
It's a year-round
thing too, But they get paid well. I'm sure he's the highest, I'm the highest state employee in the university in the state of Alabama.
Well, I'm sure he is. Yeah.
But when he took over that program, it was Mike Shula had pretty much run it in the ground, and he brought it back fast. And I don't know how many years, but how many years and how many national championships he's had at Alabama. So.
7.
Yeah.
BCS CFP national championship wins.
It'll be interesting to see if he stays retired. But
You know,
at
he was
72
in the NFL a little while.
Yeah, he was. He was at the Miami.
Yeah, I didn't,
Yeah.
you know, at his age, I'm not sure if he wants to
Yeah.
go back to that or not.
Yeah, he was at LSU, and then he went to Miami, and then he went back to the college game. So, it's hard to say. But 72, that's pushing it a little bit too. So.
Yeah, and he's been at Alabama since 2007.
Yep.
So he's been there a while.
Yep. So.
Interesting.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. I don't
And
know who's going to take that job.
I don't want to step into that shoes. But, he's had some, pretty, some quality assistants over here. Steve Sarkisian, who's at Texas, was under him. I forget, Mississippi coach was under him. Mississippi, I can't think of his name right off the top, but he was a coordinator there too.
Yeah, there's been a few. Yeah, he's got one of those coaching trees.
Yeah, you bet. So I'm sure somebody will step in there, but and he's probably got people right there that are already conditioned for it. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there was something. But yeah, that was a surprise.
That is a shock. That was. I said, and even that one, and then the Pete Carroll thing too.
Yeah.
I the way everything I had read, Pete Carroll was ready to go at it another year, but now he's just going to step aside and be an advisor. So
so it'll be interesting to see what kind of advisory role he's going to be taking there.
Yeah, you bet. So, but I would not be surprised to see Dan Quinn head that way. He was the architect of the Doomsday defense back, in the day there with and Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom, yeah.
And I would not be surprised to see him back there.
Okay, all right. The Bucks have a big game tonight. They are hosting the Boston Celtics at Pfizer Forum.
Yeah, Bucks just struggling right now.
Yeah, they kind of up and down.
Now 4-5, and their defense just not been really good. And from what I heard Monday night, there were a lot of boos at Pfizer Forum. So well, they
better
pick it up.
Keep it close with Boston, or they'll hear more boos.
Boston's playing well.
Yeah, they are.
And they are going to come in there, and they're going to score. They're going to put 120, 130 on you. So.
Yeah, they've been scoring.
Yeah,
Boston has.
Yeah, it's so. But
Bucks better be ready.
Yep.
And one other thing that came across this week, Tiger Woods Monday announced that his longtime partnership with Nike has ended.
That's got to be one of the longest partnerships in
27
sport.
years.
Yeah, and he will no longer be wearing that black.
yeah. It didn't say what brand he's going to plan to wear. But
yeah.
I wonder what happened there.
I don't know. It's maybe they're ready to move on.
Well, and he hasn't been out there on the course.
No, that's exactly.
Very much.
That's part of it too.
That could be.
It's
not getting the name out there.
Maybe they should look to his son. Yeah, his son is supposed to be kind of a golf prod. Charlie is supposed to be kind of a golf prodigy coming up. So.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
But
he's got a pretty good
teacher.
teacher.
I think Nike's probably got dollars to spend elsewhere.
Yeah.
And maybe I think maybe they realize Tiger Woods' time has come and went. So even though he's still an icon.
Right.
Right. But
I'm sure they like to see that brand on TV.
Absolutely.
On the golf course.
Yeah.
If he's not there.
Yeah. One thing, when he is there, they know he'll be on the cameras.
Oh yeah,
but his injuries and everything have kept him out of a lot of tournaments this year, in the last few years. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So they probably need one. They want a little more spotlight.
Yep. All right, boys basketball coming up tonight. Neilsville and Colby.
Big one.
Battle for second place on 92.7 WPKG. Dick and I will be there along with Coach K, and we'll talk to you. 7:15 is starting for that one. That'll do it for Two Guys on Sports. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson.
We'll talk to you again next week.